Okay, make sure you have a pen and paper ready to make notes of the models and examples as we go. Listen again, the benefit of the video is that you can rewind and repeat, so make sure you do that if you need to. Be prepared to pause. Occasionally I will ask you to have a go at an activity or to copy something down. Please make sure you do it at that moment. And do the activities. Real learning comes from active participation. Okay, to begin with, we have 4 questions. Please don't spend any more than about 4 minutes on this. When you unpause it, the answers will come up. Okay, the first one, we should have collected together the 2x and the 3x, which will give us 5x. 7y take away 3y is 4y, and the plus 5 at the end is just a plus 5. You can't simplify any further than that, so that is your final answer. The next one, I've put in the minus 4 instead of the x in a little bracket, just so I don't get confused. Okay, and I've got a 5 outside that bracket, so if I've got a 5 immediately in front of a little bracket like that, effectively there is a secret little multiply just there, and what that really means is 5 times minus 4 plus the 3. So 5 times minus 4 is minus 20, add 3 is minus 17. For the cuboid, x times 2 times 9 would give us 144. That's how we find the volume of a cuboid. So 9 times 2 times x is 144. So 18, because 2 9s are 18, 18x equals 144, and if you divide both sides by 18, you'll find x to be 8. You can double check that by doing 8 times 2 times 9, and it should give you 144 again. And for the highest common factor, I just use the listing method. So 24, here are all the factors of 24. Here are all the factors of 32. Notice I've done them in pairs just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And the highest number that appears in both lists is 8. Okay, today we're going to be looking at expanding brackets in a few different forms. So copy down your title and your date. Okay, we're going to start with a simple example of expanding 2 4x minus 3. Okay, now to do this, we use a very straightforward method. We simply multiply the thing outside by everything that's inside the bracket. So 2 times the 4x is 8x, because I've got 2 lots of 4x. And then 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. I do fully recommend writing it out, putting in the little arrows, and doing it just as I did there. Now I want to show you just very quickly why that works. Okay, you don't need to copy this bit down though. Okay, so what I've actually written there, 2 4x minus 3 is the same as 2 lots of this thing in a bracket, 4x minus 3. Okay, so if I've got 2 lots of that, I've got a 4x minus 3 and another 4x minus 3. Now if I was to write that properly in normal algebra, I would probably write 4x minus 3 plus 4x minus 3. I've got x's and I've got numbers. The 2 piles of x's, I've got a 4x and another 4x is 8x, and the 2 minus 3's give me minus 6. Now as you can see, the method on the right hand side takes a lot longer, and we only had a 2 at the front, but that number could have just as easily been 20 or 200. In which case that method would be completely impractical. The method on the left is very much just as quick as that, no matter how big the number is. Okay, here we have 3 examples on the left hand side. You've got the one you just copied, another one here, and a third example at the bottom. In each case, I've changed the way the negatives are positioned. Okay, so you can compare the results you've got here with how the negatives are forming. Notice particularly this last one, where the negative 3 outside and the negative 1 inside multiplied together to give a positive 3. So using your notes and these examples to guide you, I want you to try and expand these 4 expressions, all of which have the same numbers in. I've only changed the negatives and the positives. Okay, so pause it, have a go, see if you can get them all right, and then we're going to move on. Okay, answers here, 6x and 15, both positive, 6x and negative 15, negative 6x, negative 15, and the final one, negative 6x and positive 15. Okay, here are 8 questions I'd like you to have a go at. Okay, in the first set, they all focus mostly on positives and the number outside is positive. On the second row, the numbers outside are negative. Pause it now, have a go, and then unpause it for the answers. Okay, answers are on the screen now, so just double check that you've got everything right and pay particular attention to the negative and positive signs. Okay, we can also have expansion questions where the number outside is not a number at all, it's actually a letter. So in this example, we have A. So A lots of 2x and A lots of minus B. Or A times 2x would be 2ax, and A times minus B would be minus AB. Remember in algebra, if there's no sign between two letters like here, then there's a secret multiply we didn't bother writing. In this example, I have x on the outside. Well, 5x squared is really 5 times x times x. So I'm now going to have 5 times x times x times x, 5x cubed. And plus 4 times the x is plus 4x. The final one, out the front here, we've got 2y cubed. We're still going to apply more or less the same process, but it's a little bit trickier. First, we're going to multiply this section together. The 2 and the 5 multiply to give 10. So the 2 and the 5 give us 10. The 3 on the y's and the 4 on the y give a 7. So I've added my powers and multiplied what we call the coefficients, the numbers in front. So the numbers in front get multiplied together, and then you add the powers. If there's no power, like just here, well, then it's actually a 1 that we didn't bother to write. The second part for this one, the 2 times 4 gives me 8. The w, it just stays as w, and y cubed is y cubed. Okay, here are 3 examples I want you to have a go at yourself now. Pause it and then unpause for the answers. Okay, the middle one then is 3x to the 4 plus 6x, and the other two are 3ax minus am and 10y to the power of 6. I multiplied the numbers outside and then I added the powers to get the 6. 5 times 7 is 35 and it's a negative. Y to 3, and that's really y to the 1, gives me y to the 4. Here are 3 sets of questions to have a go at. You might want to just pick and choose a few from each. So pause it, do a few, check your answers, and then unpause it. Okay, the answers are on screen now. If you got something different, it might be worth stopping and having a go. Again, just double checking. Have you done the powers right? Did you multiply the numbers in front, or did you add them by mistake? Double check, compare your answers to what I got. Okay, we can also do this where we have 2 brackets separated by an add. It's really important that they are separate. The way we're going to do this is treat it as if it's 2 completely separate questions. I'm even going to draw a line straight down my page. Notice the position of the line before my plus sign, after the bracket. It's really important where that goes. This bracket will expand to 3x plus 15, and this bracket will expand to 2x plus 8. I can now combine all of them together, and I'll get 3x and 2x is 5x, 15 and 8 is 23. I want you now to pause it and have a go at the question on the right hand side, which is very similar, and make sure you're happy with it. Okay, if you've done that, the answers, first of all, I'm going to separate my page. I should have had 2x plus 12, 4x plus 8, and when you combine them, 6x plus 20. Here I have a very similar example with a negative. So draw my line, expand them out. Be very careful to make sure you get the negative 6 here. Add those together, I get 8x plus 4, because 10 take 6 is 4. There's an example here for you to quickly try on your own. Okay, the answer for this one, separated by a line, I get 24x plus 18 on the left, plus 4x minus 8, and when we combine those, I get 28x plus 10. We can also have this with a negative, and this is much more tricky, and you need to be very, very careful with this bit. Still use exactly the same method I've been showing you for the last two. Separate it out by a line. Expand it out very carefully. This side's not so bad. This side's got a negative. Here I'm going to have negative 4 times 2x, negative 8x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Then we just combine as normal. 7x plus 8. Have a go at the right hand side and be really careful of the negatives. Unpause it for the answer. Okay. 12x plus 6 minus 6x minus 2. Combine those together, I get 6x plus 4. And the final one. It's a final example of these. Here I have a negative both outside the bracket and one inside the bracket. The left hand side again I've made quite simple. I've kept that as positives, but they could just as easily have been negatives. Minus 3 times 2x is minus 6x, but minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 9, because two positives multiplied together is a positive. Combine them to get an answer. Have a go at the last one and then unpause it. Okay, I get 14x plus 21 minus 10x plus 8, and when I combine them, 4x plus 29. Now, you don't have to show this line if you don't want to. Personally, I find it very helpful. Okay, the important thing here is to remember that that is a minus 2 lots of that and minus 2 lots of that. And if that's a positive, it's plus 2 of those and plus 2 of those. So just be really, really careful that you get that sign right. There are 6 practice questions on the right hand side. That last one is very tricky. And this is just an example from before. So pause it, have a go at these and see if you can get the right answers. Okay, answers are on screen now. Now I've simplified all of mine very carefully, so make sure you have two. Notice I've left the x squared in on this last one if you had a go at it. Okay, you cannot combine the x squareds and the x's, not by adding anyway. Okay, on the board is a collection of various ones, starting with just positives here. I'm moving into a mixture of positive and negatives throughout question 5. Question 6 has letters on the outside as well as numbers. So pause it, do whichever questions are appropriate for you, and then unpause it for the answers. Okay, all of the answers are currently on screen. Double check your work, make sure you're happy before moving on. And finally, that's everything for today. So make sure that you submit your work to your teacher. Well done.